Hey, this is GatorX, and over the weekend for Pokemon Worlds, we got a brand new trailer for Pokemon TCG Pocket, and I figured I'd go ahead and talk about it here because I'm really interested in the app, and I'm very curious to see where it goes from here. So it's a bit of a shorter trailer, more so to get you hyped up for what's coming out soon, rather than giving the full details. We get a good look at a few new cards here and there. The trailer overall is very international. There are a lot of different languages showed off. And again, some of the brand new cards we're seeing here, I'll actually kind of break those down later. One interesting thing, we kind of see that there are going to be seeming like milestones for however many cards you collect, because yes, even though this is a video game and there is going to be some PvP in it, supposedly, or at least, that's what it's seeming like here, it is very collector focused, and at least, in all the marketing, in all the trailers, it has been very much centered on the collecting aspect to it to try and get that crowd. And so as far as that aspect, I think that it's definitely nailing it at least, and hopefully we'll be able to get them here. We get a little bit of a, more look at the gameplay, but again, we don't necessarily have the full rules just yet. Maybe that's something I'll talk about in a later time. But one other interesting thing here, again, another collection aspect, it does seem like you're going to be able to make collections, or at least, they'll be categorized in some way. As we see that here, a lot of the evolutions are categorized. One of the more interesting things I think we see later on in the trailer is that, there are going to be different ways of displaying your cards, more so digitally rather than in real life. It does seem like it is taking a lot of aspects of, physical TCG collecting and trying to implement them into this game here. Effectively ethical NFTs where, you can have your digital collectibles here. Hopefully they'll be a little easier. Well, obviously they'll be much easier to obtain, and, there will be the free to play option, hopefully. But I think the most interesting thing here is that it looks like there is going to be a trading system, actually bringing that back into some sort of card game. And I think that is actually very important for this game, it being a lot more collector focused. Again, I'm still actually very, very interested in the gameplay and the overall format, which does seem like it's going to be its own thing, but specifically because it is, going more so for the collector audience, including a trading system is, a great idea, because that's a big part to Pokemon. It's something that we don't necessarily see in TCG Live, but of course, is technically a thing in the actual, physical trading card game, even, like in the more casual sense, right? Rather than just like buying singles and building your deck there. It's a very important social aspect to the trading card game, so including that here, again, great idea. And then, yeah, like I said, a lot of the main parts of the trailer are just showing off some of the new cards, some of the other collection milestones, and then, of course, at the very end, we get a release date, which is October 30th, in about 2 months, and so I think that, yeah, that's somewhat timely. I think that it could have come out maybe a month later, or, in terms of, like, to fit everything in the year to make us feel like, oh, we're not waiting so long, but hey, that's here. Overall, for TCG Live, my thoughts, just some quick thoughts. I think it's shaping up to be pretty interesting, and I think that now that we actually have a release date for when it's coming out, not necessarily as soon as we might have thought for this year, but it's still happening in a somewhat timely manner. I think that at this point, though, they really need to buckle down and show off some gameplay, or, at least, like, some really dedicated stuff for the gameplay. Yeah, we're seeing it, and we're kind of getting hints here and there from a lot of the card effects, and of course, a lot of the screenshots that we see in terms of how exactly it's going to be playing. We can assume that, yeah, it's definitely the simplified version of the main TCG, but I think that just actually knowing the exact specifics is going to be really important. So hopefully within the next month they start announcing that, or that at least they start, they drop a little dedicated video to say, hey, this is exactly how you play, this is the turn by turn play, and so on and so on. But if you want to see some speculation video about the exact gameplay, I could definitely talk about that at some point, later on, hopefully before they, drop the actual gameplay rules. Other than that, I'm very curious. I think that, yes, definitely they're going to be able to at least get some of the casual people, the collector audience, really interested in downloading this game day one, hopefully. And then I think that, the next step definitely is going to be showing off that gameplay and actually building from here. I think the look of it in terms of the cards themselves is great. I think, it's a great idea to do something that you can only do in a digital card game, with how, there's a lot of parallaxing effects in a lot of the cards, and how you can zoom in on a lot of the artwork, and, there is specific artwork made just for the game because of that, because you can do so much with it. As we're seeing in the end too, it looks like, you know, you can zoom in just like really far with some of the artworks, and I think that that's really working well. The next step again, you know, is obviously to really enhance the rest of the aesthetics and make, you know, the actual gameplay look good, you know, maybe some of the backgrounds and some of the other customization as well. But so far I think we're off to a pretty good start. But like I said, yeah, this next month is going to be very important to really continue building things up and actually really, you know, showing why we should download this game, why we should actually play it and be interested in it. But yeah, if you want to see more discussion about Pokemon TCG Pocket, I am actually very curious, and that's why I'm here. So you can leave some suggestions here and there, and obviously within the 2 months we'll be talking about some other cards, some other discussion here and there, some thoughts leading up to the game, because, you know, there's a lot to discuss, you know, good, bad, ugly, and hey, you know, extremely shiny and pretty, because this is a, you know, this is the TCG. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and welcome here to more Pokemon TCG Pocket stuff. And if you'd like to even see me maybe discuss some TCG live here and there, we could do that as well. But you know, there'll be a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, and a lot to think and plan for the future. But anyway, this is Gatorex. Catch you all later.